Hello, listeners. This is Yukta speaking, your host for today's episode, which is the discussion between Sachin Gaur and Mr. Abhik Saha. Sachin Gaur is Director Operations at InnovatioCuris Private Limited, and Mr. Abhik Saha was awarded the Gandhian Young Innovation Award 2018 by President Ramnath Kovind at the Festival of Innovation and Entrepreneurship on 19 March. This discussion is part of the 11th IC Innovator Club virtual meeting hosted on the topic Young Innovators. Let us hear the discussion.
Warm welcome, Abhik. You're logging in from Mumbai, I believe.
Yes.
So, can you also give a short introduction about yourself, who you are, where are you coming from?
So first of all, thank you for inviting me in this session and having giving me this opportunity to speak to you all. Right. So yeah, so I come from West Bengal. So I was born and brought up in West Bengal in the northern side of West Bengal, Siliguri side, and from there onwards, I have been very fascinated towards technology. So the first desktop you can say was what my father bought for me, and it was the only one in my village. So I think that is something that's very exciting for me even till now. And I was very sure from the beginning that look, this thing that we have, this computer, this technology stuff, it's going to change everything. I mean, if you see, there's a magician, right? Whatever we used to see in the Disneys and all, the magician, I think this thing is exactly what is magic in reality. It's just that I think a lot of people are not experiencing the magic or not able to identify the true power of technology. So that has been the true game changer for me. So in my school days, I used to like, honestly, I am not a very school kind of a kid. So I always used to look into computers, technology, coding stuff, and so on. My grades were decreasing for this particular reason that I was completely on computer. All of my other grades are very, very low on this. So, and I think my teachers were also saying like, you should focus on a diverse subject, which makes sense. But then, this thing is like magic. And once you have magic in your hands, I don't think you need to look for anything else, right? So I thought like, I mean, let's start with something. And by class 10, I dropped out of school. I mean, even class ICSE, the last class 10 board exams was something my parents forced me to do it. Else I would have rather, skipped and started something else. So from there onwards, I started a company called Oregon. It was a search engine. Again, completely crazy idea. Thousands of investors saying this is completely crazy. You're going against something or somebody or some company who is the world leader in what they are doing. And I think from my end, it was something like a way towards building something. And I was morely fascinated towards the technology that's behind Oregon that we were building that time. So from there onwards, I started looking for investors, and I came onto this entrepreneurship and building companies model and so on. I got an investor in Mumbai, angel round, got it. I think it was my physics exam. I was closing my term sheet, and and tomorrow I had a board exam, and today I was closing my term sheet. So we're negotiating the equity and all stuff. Very new for me, very very exciting thing, and I think I was not interested even to go to the exam. Again, parents forced me to go that. So as soon as my math exam got over, class 10, I immediately came to Mumbai, and I was very excited to start the company. We started in a in a shop. It was above a shop. It was like a small 2-room area wherein I had my desktop and couple of people around me. And then we started hiring absolutely challenging. Nobody trusts, nobody wants to come and join us because it's a very crazy idea. We are going against somebody who is very big, and I am just, at that time I was in 15, and that was a very challenging phase, the entire year. And great stuff. We learned a lot. We did a lot of technology, AI, artificial intelligence, some part of computing that is like distributed computing and all, absolutely fascinating stuff, cybersecurity, indexing, database systems and all. During that course, we met a lot of investors, again rejections. And yeah, I think that has been the part to learn a lot. I never say that was anything as a sort of failure. I think it's a learning pipe. And from there onwards, I think in 2018, I got an award from President of India, and I think I was very fortunate to get that. And yeah, and that has been a booster and to motivation. And from there onwards, I moved ahead with the company. But due to some reasons, we had to close it up. I mean, we didn't get any funds, and we were completely out of money and all stuff. no issues. We closed the company. We tried to understand where we went wrong and what kind of technology that we can reuse from there, and we started one play. So initially what we did was we tried to use some of our technology understanding and expertise and the entire year's learning to power technology for other companies. So right now we are working with telecoms, we are working with startups, we are working with a lot of companies where we power their recommendations, their search, and their other AI related backgrounds or technology stuff. And I think that has been going great. We are working with corporates, we are understanding big data, we are understanding the trends. And I think the biggest challenge is building team. And I think every startup in India, at least in India, will have the same problem into building a great team. Without a great team, I think product does not make any sense, or it does not go anywhere. Even if it goes somewhere, it's not till that expectation. So building a team has been very challenging. I don't have a degree. I am just a class 10 out, and neither of some of my colleagues do have. and and we were trying to hire from a lot of colleges, IITs and all, but they were not passionate. So we were looking for passionate people who were they're just going to work a little more crazy, a little more into stuff. And very difficult. Again, we're continuously finding team, but yeah, we got some good people out there, and we started building something, yeah, from there onwards. And recently, yeah.
So, just maybe making a bit more interactive. So I think great. So when I started my first company, maybe I was 27.
Mhm.
So maybe if I have to look back, I would definitely want to start maybe, when you started like 15 years, right? So having so much knowledge about term sheet and that kind of jargon, I think Mohit, you are also smiling, and I think you must be thinking, about reliving, our lives. So it's so
Yeah.
great to
So
learn from you,
just to
Abhik.
add, Sachin, I did when I was 18.
Right, right. Good, good.
So
So I think one thing that stands out in your story, Abhik, and Harman's story is that both of you got exposure to a computer, early on in your life. Of course, one has to be grateful to the situation because not everyone is that lucky in India.
Absolutely.
But you were great. I mean, you got this chance maybe because of your parents and their own kind of insight. What kind of one thing leads to another, right?
Correct.
But I would like to understand from you, because you must be having a totally different insight today. How do you see the evolution of internet? I mean, uh, is there something that kind of makes you think that the world is going to change phenomenally from here? Any insights that you would like to share?
Absolutely. So I think I have been fortunate to see the entire evolution. So when I got my internet connection in 2015, we used to get 60 kbps at 500 rupees. Right now, I have a 1 gbps fiber right now in my home. And I think evolution is great. I mean, internet is connecting things, connecting people, connecting everything together. It's the flow of magic. You can say it's the flow of magic stick. And with the internet evolutionizing, I think everything is going to change. Education, teaching, everything is going to change. How we connect to people, how we talk to people, how we meet people, everything is going to revolutionize.
Yeah, I mean, just yesterday I was speaking to Devang Tomar. So Devang was one of the first Peter Thiel fellow.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter Thiel used to give this fellowship to people who would do dropout, right?
Okay.
So and Ritesh Agarwal from Oyo and Devang, they both went to US back in the days, and of course Ritesh started Oyo, and Devang was also working on some startups. So I was just speaking for 1.5 hours yesterday to Devang. So maybe I'll connect you with Devang
Sure.
after this conversation. So it's not that you are the first one. So there are many
Yeah.
people from Mark Zuckerberg to Bill Gates who have dropped out. I think what the one lesson we draw here is that it's not about the package of a degree that makes you relevant in the society. It's about the zeal of learning. And I
Correct.
think Harman also mentioned this very many times, that learning every day. And I think one thing that internet has opened up for all of us is that how fast we can learn. It's not determined by the amount of knowledge available. It's determined by our own curiosity and focus.
Correct.
So sounds good, really. And I think what you mentioned about the evolution of internet speed. So India was 120 rank before Geo came, and today India is ranked one in terms of per capita data consumption. And you're running a gaming company.
Correct.
So what do you think about the future of gaming in India? Do you have any perspective there?
Yes, I think, I mean, as you said, what is the future of gaming? I think everything is going to game. Everybody, everything is going gaming. I think the generation that we are right now, their go-to sports is going to be gaming. Just like how cricket or football or WWE is there, I think this generation's go-to sport is going to be gaming. And it's not just about gaming, it's about a completely different world that you can opt into, from your daily busy life or whatever. It doesn't matter. In the game, you can, choose what character you want to be, what role you want to play, and then also meet other people and do something together. And I think that part of gaming makes it so interesting, or makes the full potential of internet in a completely different environment or scenario. And I think that what we're trying to do right now here is bring those angles from the gaming to other environments like education and technology and learning, wherein school students can go wear a VR and understand whatever the subjects are. Like, I want to go to Mars, I haven't seen anything on Mars, I can just put a VR and go inside Mars and view it. I can see with other friends, we can do some party out there. And I think that kind of gamified learning or gamified approach is going to change a lot of things.
Yeah, perfect. So we look forward to one day be fully immersed in your one play gaming solutions. And I guess I was just recently listening to Tim Ferriss podcast on metaverse, and he recommended two things. One was the movie which is available on Amazon Prime. It's called Ready Player One. I don't know if you've seen it.
Exactly.
You've seen it. And then he mentioned the book from 1992, Neil Stephenson. It's called Snow Crash.
No crash.
I am listening to that book right now, as these days. And Neil Stephenson was the creator of the word metaverse,
Correct.
and he's quite a cult, among people like Bill Gates and others from the US who are looking into future. So this is for in general, for people who are interested in understanding the future that is coming. I think, of course, Neil Stephenson could imagine it in 1992, but I think you are working on it, and we look forward to participate in this future, Abhik. And
Sure.
hearty congratulations again for taking uncharted territory, and going into that uncharted territory, not doing things in the conventional way.
Thank you, Sachin Gaur and Mr. Abhik Saha. To watch the complete club meeting on this topic, visit the link in the description below. Subscribe to the channel to get instant access to all the podcasts. Follow us on social media through the links available in the description below. Thank you all for spending your time in listening to this week's podcast. Look out for a new episode every Wednesday, published on Google Podcast, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. If you are interested in hosting your podcast with us, fill the form available in the description below. Thank you once again. See you next time.